Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, everybody, welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Man, what is that noise? Somebody outside. Okay. Noise buzzing in my ear had me all messed up. Thursday, November 3rd. Hey, what a time to be alive in the sports world. We saw some history last night with the second ever no-hitter thrown in the World Series, but the first combined no-hitter thrown in the World Series. This World Series has been very entertaining. I mean, teams keep going back and forth. Nobody's been able to win 2 games in a row yet. You had the Phillies who just pounded the ball set a record with 5 home runs and scored 7 runs without ever having a runner in scoring position, which to me is just amazing. And then the next night, and that was en route to a 7-0 victory. Then the next night, the Astros are the dominant team and win 5-0 behind Javier just pitched a gem, man. I told the stat guy this earlier this morning that I wish they'd have left Javier in to see how far he could have went, because it'd been cool to see a complete game no-hitter by one pitcher. And he was in a groove and didn't look like he was slowing down. So I wouldn't have been mad if they'd have brought him out there for at least one more inning. But joined by Jay McLove. I know he loved last night's game. So how you doing this morning or this afternoon, Jay?
I am fantastic. Hey, Gonzo, just for the people that, are in the back of the room and maybe a few people that, missed that historic effort yesterday, could you please again just say one more time, what team was that got the second no-hitter in Major League World Series, the biggest stage on planet Earth? Could you please just one more time say that team? And when you do say that team, could you please say it with your chest?
Hey, it was the Astros. It was
no, with your chest on. So
hey, wait a minute. And not only was it only the second, it hasn't been done since like 1955. So I mean, it's something you never see at all. So
yeah, I pick on Gonzo because Gonzo thinks that the Phillies are going to win the World Series, and I just gotta,
Hey, they're still alive.
It is what it is. Hey,
it's been a good World Series to watch. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Hey, this World Series is exactly what we all kind of thought it was going to be. It's going to be a cat scratch, dog fight, whatever terminology you want to give it. That is what it is. A couple of things. I mean, he saw, like you said, the 7-0 shutout of the Astros was just unbelievable on their part. And I think the Astros came out and said, "Hey, Phillies, who's your daddy?" And then just completely slapped them in the face. Real quick, you're right. I want to tell you how good Javier was in that game. He went 6 full innings of no-hit ball, and he also had 9 strikeouts, and that is a major league historical moment. It's the only time that's been done by one pitcher at that level that had that many strikeouts within 6 innings. So, we know that he had the historical night, right?
You know what else was awesome about that, Jay, is he's a guy that got signed to a $10,000 contract. I forget what there's a name for it, but he got for being a foreign player or whatever. He got a $10,000 contract. He went.
Hey, don't worry, because that $10,000 contract Hey, they're going to have to pay that man when it comes time.
I was gonna say, he just made himself some money, and he just showed everybody. He just made his name, a name everybody knows. Well, all baseball fans are going to know now because that was the world stage. A
and
lot
again,
of
this
people
wasn't his first. This wasn't his first combined no hitter this season.
Yeah.
We know that. Matter of fact, it was him, Montero, and Presley that got the combined no hitter against the Yankees. So we know that when that was just before the All-Star break, and that no. And I think for shits and giggles, Dustin said, "Hey, Abreu, hey, you want to jump in the party and be part of the historical moment? Let's go on ahead and throw you in there too, just for the hell of it." And Abreu went in there and struck out the side in the one inning they gave him. And man, was he not beautiful? Here's the thing, Gon. So I want you to remember this. There are 3 relievers that have yet to make their appearance in the World Series. And there are 3 relievers that the Philadelphia Phillies have nothing to know about other than maybe game film. And that is Stanek, Hector Neris, and Will Smith. Now, I want you to understand 2 out of those 3, Stanek and Neris, have a very extremely low ERA. They also have not seen Hunter Brown. And if you don't know how good Hunter Brown is right now, he has 2 wins and no losses, and he has a .85 ERA and a 1.09 WHIP. So you haven't even seen Hunter Brown yet. The Astros bullpen is so damn deep that even if we go to a game 7, we got pitchers with a low ERA that these guys have not even seen yet. That's how scary the Astros team is. But I want to kind of go back for a minute. How important was it for Altuve? You see Altuve, he's kind of come into his own. We've seen that, Alvarez has kind of taken a step back, and now he's kind of struggling a little bit. The one thing I love about this Astros team is even when your main guys are struggling, they got guys that are not necessarily superstar guys that are coming up and kicking ass and taking names. McCormick is one of them. Not so much Tucker, but Diaz is another. I mean, there's a few guys in there that are really just kicking it to another gear. And I'm not even going to talk about Pena and the fact that he has had a hit every single game of the World Series, to include at least 2 multi-hit games in the World Series. So, there's a lot that this team has to offer that I don't think the Phillies are truly prepared for as we get later into this best of 3 game series. And again, you got to tip your hat to Vasquez. Vasquez and Maldonado, I swear to God, are probably 2, if not 1 and 2 game managers in Major League Baseball. I don't think there's anybody in Major League Baseball at the catcher position that can call a better game than these 2 guys. And I would argue that with anybody. Also,
oh no, and the other great thing about this World Series is, man, and I know you as an Astro fan, and I know you're confident that they're going to win, and I'm always like that as a fan. But I know when you're watching these games, these last couple of games, your nerves had to be, you had to be some nerve-wracking baseball.
Bro, I've been on Xanax every damn game. I've been like popping Xanax. Hey, watch this. I pop Xanax like you pop Tic Tacs.
That game last night, it was still 0-0 in the 5th inning. It was a tight game, and then boom, the Astros exploded in that 5th inning. I got those 3 singles in a row, and then a big double. But
and you got to think too, Gonzo. I know people wanted to see if Javier could get the complete game, but here's the problem: when they took him out, he was already at 97.
Yeah, he's already at 96
at the end of the 6th. Yep. And I'm gonna tip my hat to Dusty. I am glad that he pulled Javier out because
he made the right
it gives
move.
Javier a chance. What I'm saying is, it gives Javier a chance to keep resting, because I think if it goes 7 games, I think we bring back Javier in game 7.
Yeah, I can see that possibly.
That's number 1. But number 2, if Javier goes into the 7th inning and for whatever reason he just doesn't have his stuff because he's pitched almost 100, and then they get some hits or some runs. Now we're going to be questioning, well, why did you leave Javier in so long?
Yeah,
so
I understand that.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go to that bullpen, especially when you got the bullpen that the Astros have. Don't be afraid to use them.
No, he made the right move.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as a fan, selfishly, I would have liked to seen it, but no, he made the right move %. Dude, it's
But,
been
hey,
fun.
but then again, they brought in Abreu. Abreu just strikes out the side. They bring in Montero and Presley just, I mean, damn. At one point, they retired 18 straight Phillies. And you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, JJ. No, that's not what's cool. What's cool is 11 out of the 18 were via strikeouts. Think about that for a minute. 11 out of the last 18 were all strikeouts. I mean, that's talk about, and it's not even so much to Javier as it is to Abreu, Montero, Presley. I mean, these guys were just striking them out left and right.
The hardest hit ball that the Phillies had was a ball that was barely fouled down the first baseline by Schwarber.
Yeah.
That was the hardest hit ball they had all night. And
again,
if that would have been fair, it would have scored at least one run because the way it bounced off the wall. It would have scored that runner that was on first. Schwarber might have got a double out of it, but it was. I mean, it was close. Right,
and I'll tell you this. Hey, wait, watch this. I'll tell you this. I saw Philly Sports Guy on TikTok before the game started, and he's like pumped up, psyched up, talking all the smack about the Astros and what they're going to do to the Astros, and talking about the crowd, and it's electrifying, and they're setting off the seismic scales, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, about a sixth inning, you couldn't hear a pin drop.
Oh, yeah,
so, that was Philly Sports Guy.
It was quiet. It was totally different. That's what's great about baseball, though. You never know what's gonna happen, and it can happen just like that. And that's what happened in that fifth inning. It looked like we was going to maybe go to. I was thinking, hey, this might be one of these games that go in extra innings or just a one run scored game. You know what I mean? Just to fill the game, the first going into that fifth inning, the first 4 innings had to fill the game. Hey, it's going to be a tight game all the way. And then boom, the Astros exploded.
And if you think about it, dating back to the 6th inning of Game 3, the Philly hitters are in a 1-for-37 skid with 3 walks and 17 strikeouts. God, what a time to be alive! What a time to be alive! And here's the deal. And Gonzo, another big thing is this is the first loss that the Phillies have taken at home in this postseason.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the other thing is, man, what's going to be crazy now is you have best 2 out of 3, and neither one of these teams have lost back-to-back games for a long period of time. So you know what I mean, that can make it interesting as well. Which Astros have the advantage there because two of them 3 games are going to be at home. I thought last night was a must-win for the Astros. The Astros came through and won it because you didn't want to go down 3-1 and still have.
Oh hell no!
But then have a chance to close out tonight. But now it's shifted where tonight to me is a must-win for the Phillies because you don't want to go to Houston have to win 2 in a row. You want to go to Houston where you just have to split to be able to win the World Series. I think this game tonight means a little more for the Phillies than the Astros just on that because the Phillies or because the Astros having that home field advantage. So I think this is a must win for the Phillies tonight, just like I felt like last night was a must win for the Astros.
Yeah, absolutely. If the Phillies lose this game tonight, it's done. It's done. It's over. Because you got to understand that Framber Valdez will be coming out Game 6 in Houston. And we all know what Framber Valdez did to the Phillies in Game 2. So, and they're probably going to come out with Wheeler in Game 6, I would imagine. And I'll tell you, man, hey, look, I don't care if they come out with Wheeler. I don't care what they do because the Astros put up 10 runs on the 2 best pitchers that the Phillies have in Games 1 and 2 in Houston. So, absolutely, if the Phillies lose tonight, it's done. Call it. I'm telling you, it's done. Secondly, Verlander's going up against Syndergaard. I don't know if I don't know if the Phillies put their best foot forward putting Noah Syndergaard against Justin Verlander. Now you can say, well, Jay, Justin Verlander is like 0 for 6 in the World Series. I get that, but you know what? Everybody can have a breakout game. And I'm telling you, I think Justin Verlander is going to come out, and I think he's going to have a breakout game. Number 1. Number 2, Syndergaard is 10-10 in the season with a 3.94 ERA.
But which I think they should start Wheeler tonight. That's my opinion. But
yeah, that's mine too.
But Syndergaard also in the playoffs has this season has a 1.69 ERA and has only gave up 1 run in almost 6 innings of work. So he's pitched decent.
But he hasn't gone against the Astros lineup yet.
Well, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just saying he's pitched better in the playoffs than what he did in the regular season. But he's only had that one appearance. He's only had that one appearance as well.
Epic performance from Syndergaard.
But
an epic performance.
But I think they should start Wheeler tonight. That's my opinion. The bullets don't do you no good if you don't use them. And if you try to worry about the next 2 games instead of today, that's where you get in trouble. You got to go game by game and do whatever you have to do to win that game. Then worry about what you're going to do for the next game. So to me, I'd be starting Wheeler tonight. But I mean, they still can make that move. So we'll see.
Why not? And why not even? Because why not start Wheeler tonight and then start Suarez in Game 6 or switch it up? Yeah. Start Suarez tonight and put.
Well, they wouldn't start Suarez tonight because he pitched on Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right. But okay, but you can throw Suarez in Game 6 and
that's what I'm saying. Tonight. Yeah, that's what I think. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll be watching tonight. Like I said, I think this has been one of the funner World Series to watch over the last few years. I really do, just because, I mean, all the games have been competitive, and even when they won 5-0, 7-0, there was innings where it was a 0-0 game for a while. It looked like it was going to be, and the unders hit almost every time, so I've been doing good on that on my picks.
Hey, listen. Hey, and the thing about it is, too, is what is it? I think the Astros got like a 55% chance of winning the World Series, I believe it is. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that, but I know what you're talking about. But no, I haven't seen it.
And I think they're giving them above 50% chance of winning the World Series due to the fact that out of the 3 games, 2 of them are at Houston.
Yep. Which makes sense.
Well, and then think about it, man. The Phillies are a momentum-based team. When the momentum is on their side, they're hot. And when the momentum is not on their side, they tend to just crumble and die off. I think the one thing about Citizen Bank Park, and you definitely saw it in the 7-0 win, was they fed off that momentum. And they're a big-time crowd, momentum-feeding team. And when you take that crowd out of the game, just like with Seattle when they lose that 12th man, that team becomes very, very one-dimensional and incomplete. And I think the Astros tend to take that to an advantage. But on the flip side, if the Phillies come out hot and they ride that momentum, then it really makes it hard to beat them as well. So the key to beating the Phillies is not letting that momentum build up within that batting lineup.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a key. And they're going, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if the Phillies can get their bats going tonight. And if they do and they can win this game, it's going to be real interesting going to Houston with just 2 games left.
And I do want to say that if anybody thinks that the Astros aren't the best damn team this year, they haven't been watching baseball. You're not watching baseball. And I don't want to hear this, well, they didn't do it. It's not in the postseason. Well, you just saw them throw a no-hitter in the postseason on the world's biggest damn stage. Start giving the Astros their damn respect. Because if you look on Facebook, every podcaster, every guy that talks sports, even all the way up to the ESPN level, they're so hung up on Philly. And the Astros just keep getting put by the wayside. We only gave you 106 wins. We only gave you a no-no in the regular season. We only gave you a no-no in the World Series. But yet we can't get our damn respect. Why? Because 2017 and half that team or 3/4 of that damn team aren't even there anymore. Start giving the damn people their respect. They earned it.
They were talking about the Astros a lot on the MLB network yesterday.
I didn't catch MLB. I'm glad somebody's giving them some respect then.
But to go along with what you just said, anybody that thinks this Phillies team's not fun to watch haven't watched baseball either, because when they get going, it's fun. So it's been a fun World Series.
Guys, was it fun to watch the Phillies last night?
Hey, was it fun to watch the
I'm just
Astros the
asking
night
a
before when they
question.
got shut out?
Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just asking the question if last night if the Phillies had a good time. Did they have a good
Shut
time?
out Houston?
I hate you, damn it. I bet you Rob Scott was enjoying it last night.
We got Rob.
I love Rob Scott, man. That's that's my boy too, man. Damn it.
Let's move over to NFL for a few minutes. NFL trade deadline. We saw some big moves, and then now the Dolphins have signed Bradley Chubb to a $110 million extension. So I think that was a big piece by the Dolphins. Real good move to help strengthen up that defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that whole Bradley Chubb thing.
I don't think they have the team to win the Super Bowl yet.
Hey, listen, I think Bradley Chubb being signed by the Dolphins was a gap closer between the Dolphins and the Bills. I mean, Bradley Chubb, when he can help you on defense, as long as Tua can stay healthy and stay productive, a guy like Bradley Chubb can put you in that next level to really be taken seriously when you're talking playoffs and Bills and things like that, right?
Yeah. No, I think it was a good move. I still don't think they're have enough to get past Buffalo in the playoffs, but I think it was a good move, and like you said, it gets them closer in that direction. That's still my problem. That's still my problem. I agree with Rob. I still don't trust Tua.
And I get that. I can understand why you feel that way, man. And the only reason I would feel that way is not because of his abilities. I think he's shown in his abilities what he can do. I think it just comes from an injury standpoint.
Well, not just that. If you look at his games, injuries is one, but if you look at his games, he's not consistent a lot of times. One game he'll go off and throw 5 touchdowns. Next game he won't get 100. He'll have barely over 100 yards passing. I just don't think he's been able to do it consistently enough.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, because sometimes my brain, it don't always go to the top floor of the elevator. But who won on September 25th?
What was September 25th?
I know. I'm gonna help you out. September 25th, Buffalo lost to Miami.
Yeah, and how many yards did Tua throw for?
It doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter.
No, answer the question, because you want to bring up that game. The Dolphins got lucky.
I ain't bringing up that game because Buffalo lost.
Yeah, but the Dolphins got lucky to win that game. Buffalo had over 400 yards of offense.
See, there you go with the luck.
And Tua wasn't the
reason. See, that's the problem, man.
But here's the problem, Jay. Here's the problem. Tua wasn't the reason they won that game. So that still didn't prove nothing about Tua.
I didn't say it was. I just asked you who won.
Yeah, but we were talking about Tua being consistent.
Watch this. I bring that up to say this. We keep talking about, well, I don't know if they're in Buffalo's caliber or Buffalo's league, but yet they beat Buffalo. And then they bring in a Bradley Chubb to help out on defense. And all of a sudden now we're still not damn good enough. We beat you, but we're not good enough. We beat you, but we're not good enough.
Some wins are wins, and some wins is when a team don't play well. And Buffalo gave them to Miami. If you watch that game,
they gave it to them, because that's the business we're in right now, is giving games away. We're not in the business of being competitive. Okay,
so let's go back to this. The Cowboys. Who's beat the Cowboys this year?
What was it? I know that one of them losses came to Tampa Bay, and the other one came to Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, so you're saying Tampa Bay is a better team than Dallas, because that's what you're trying to tell me, because Miami beat Buffalo. So Tampa Bay is right now is a better team.
I'm saying no. That's not the same equivalency, because Buffalo,
they lost.
Hold on, I'm going to tell you why. Can I tell you why?
Equivalent.
You asked me the question. You asked me the question. I can't answer the question. Tampa Bay, since that win of Dallas, has, as you know, gone downhill to what we're now. They lost 3 games in a row, and they're on the downward skid. And Tom Brady is not looking as good. Buffalo, after that loss, has gone on to still stay at the top of their division. Miami lost Tua to injury, those concussions. We know how many games he missed. Tua comes back. They haven't lost since then. So what exactly is your point?
My point is you can't go by a regular season loss and say
I'm
that
not
team's
saying you
better
go
than
by
that
regular
team.
season loss, but you also can't say that Buffalo's better than Miami until Buffalo beats Miami.
Hey, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You just told me that anybody that watched Major League Baseball and thought the Astros weren't the best team in the league were correct. Don't watch there. If you watch the Buffalo Bills play and you watch the Miami Dolphins play, you know Buffalo's the more talented team and they have the better team.
Are they the more talented team?
I think they're way more talented team than Dolphins.
Let me ask you this. Okay, I'm going to give you Gabe Davis. I'm going to give you Stephon Diggs. And I understand what Josh Allen brings to the quarterback position. We also know that he's a hybrid because you don't have a running game. So Josh Allen is your running game. And if you don't believe me, go look at the stats. What does Miami give you? What does Miami give you? Oh, we also know that they traded Knox away. Or no, Knox actually still there. I'm thinking of Hawkinson. My bad. Different guy. We also know that Miami has a good run game. They have a good quarterback. They have Waddle. They have Gesicki. And they got Tyreek Hill. I'll put that lineup of receivers against your line of receivers, and let's see what happens.
Problem is, Jay, the better quarterbacks with Buffalo.
Okay, but the better I think Miami's defense is better.
I don't think Miami's defense is better than the Bills' defense.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think that Miami's defense, especially with the bringing over Bradley Chubb, is not better than Buffalo?
No, I don't.
What a time to be alive. Okay.
Then also trade deadline, you mentioned it, Hawkinson to the Vikings. I think that was a great move by the Vikings. Real great move, especially with Irv Smith having a hurt ankle. And I think that puts only thing we got to worry about really with the Vikings is if they can win a primetime game. I mean, looks like they're going to win their division. I love the move because that's another weapon that Kirk Cousins to have. And when Irv Smith gets back, then you have two tight ends that you could really use in a lot of different ways. But I think that was showing that Minnesota was showing that, hey, they're all in to try and make a deep playoff run this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely had the Vikings going. Excuse me, I definitely had the Vikings going deep in the playoffs. They're a scary team, man. Honestly, I would love to see the Vikings and Eagles go at it. Because I wonder if
I want to go at it again. Yeah.
Huh?
They went at it once this season, but I want to see them play each other again.
Yeah. I think the Vikings beat the Eagles, man. I do. I think the Vikings could beat the Eagles.
I think they could as well. The Eagles beat them early in the season, and Minnesota looks like a totally different team here over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And then you had a tight end like Hawkinson on that lineup.
I think they're playing different though. I think Dalvin Cook is more involved now. Back almost looking at the old Dalvin Cook I remember where he was damn near getting 200 yards every game. I mean, Dalvin's looking good. Like you said, the passing game is looking good. And again, when they played him in the beginning of the season, I still think they were kind of getting used to that new coach and the new way of this. I think the Vikings.
I agree.
I think the Vikings have really settled in as to who they are as a team, and I think their chemistry every single game has been developing. And man, what a time, man! I really am excited for the first time. Really excited about the NFC because of the fact that we're not talking about the Rams, we're not talking about the Bucks, we're not talking about Green Bay. We're talking about teams like the Eagles. We're talking about teams like the Vikings. We're talking about teams like hopefully the Cowboys that are starting to show a lot of getting better. So, and then we're talking about even the Giants for crying out loud. We're talking about how look at what the Giants are doing. So there's a lot of teams we're talking about that we haven't talked about in quite some time. So we're seeing a change into the guard a little bit maybe, but we're also seeing a really, really, really good play out of teams like you said, the Vikings and the Eagles.
Yeah. No, and in the NFC, man, there hasn't been that one. I mean, you had the Eagles are undefeated, but like you just said, we think the Vikings could have a good chance. The 49ers, if they can get consistent and adding that weapon in McCaffrey with that defense they have, they could be a team that could give people some problems. The Rams haven't looked like the Rams, but in the NFC, I would think you'd have to put what? Eagles, Cowboys, 49ers, and Vikings is probably the four favorites maybe to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's who I'm looking at. And again, I don't want to even overlook the Falcons either. I mean, the Falcons, as of late, have looked pretty good.
They just need to get
they're looking better. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're tied they're tied or they're ahead in that division. I want to say they're ahead. I want to say they're not tied. I think they are. I think they're actually in first place in their division. I think they're at 5-3 if I'm not mistaken.
You might be right. I'm not 100% sure.
But I know, but again, I mean, there's, the whole point of it is, when you look at the NFC and then you go over to the AFC, who's your teams in the AFC? I know we talked about the Bills. I know we talked about the Chiefs. I know we're talking about, I think the dark horse or the surprise team, in my opinion, like I said, is Miami. I think the Bengals could be, but the Bengals just keep getting knocked down with injuries. Jamar Chase, he's down with an injury. So, the
offensive line looked brutal.
Yeah,
offensive line looked brutal on Monday night, man. It was hard. It was hard to watch Joe Burrow take that beat Monday night. He was getting killed every time he dropped back by the.
So if I had to say who's my three teams in the AFC, I'm probably going to go in order. I'm going to go. I'm still going to go Bills, Chiefs, and Miami. I got Bills, Chiefs, Miami. I want to see more from Miami. I want to see more from Tua. And the only reason I've got Miami down at 3, even though I just made the big stink about them over Buffalo, is to the credit of Tua's health. I want to see if Tua can make it all the way to the end of the season healthy and get into the playoffs before I say that Miami should be any higher than 3. But I do think, Buffalo, Chiefs, Miami, those are my 3 teams I got in the AFC side. And if you want to switch the Chiefs and the Bills in that order, hey, I can understand that too. So,
because the Chargers have been disappointing.
They have. Jeez, they've been disappointing, man.
I really thought they would be better than they are. Damian he says Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens.
Yeah, you could throw the Ravens. I mean, you could throw the Ravens in there because they did pick up what's that dude? No, they did pick up Quinn. They picked up Raekwon Smith, which was a huge addition to their defense, which is already a good defense. The only problem I got with Jackson and the Ravens is their offense. I think they don't have a true wide receiver 1, and I don't think Jackson by himself can get that team to the promised land. And that's the only reason that's the only knack I got against the Ravens. I just feel like they're too one-dimensional.
And they keep having trouble at running back. They can't find a running back that can.
I thought Jackson was their running back.
Well, but I mean, that's their problem. Though, is usually they have a running game.
I think they lost JT Dobbins. They lost Dobbins. How long did they lose him for? Is it the season or is it just a couple of weeks, Gonzo?
I'm not sure on that. He's been out I think he's going to be out for a while, if I remember correctly. But just he can't stay healthy. They haven't had a running back over the last couple of years that can stay healthy, and that affects their offense a lot. But yeah, they don't have no receivers. Mark Andrews, their tight end, that's the option that they go to the most, and he's banged up.
You know what I wonder? We all know that Lamar Jackson is in a contract year, right? He's on the franchise tag for $23 million. Clearly, he's trying to get north or equal to or north of $50 million. In your opinion, Gonzo, is he playing like a caliber of a quarterback that deserves that kind of money, or is he playing like a 25, 26 million a year guy?
I wouldn't say like a 25, 26, but I don't think he's going to get to 45, 50 right now. I honestly think that's what's going to happen is I think Baltimore's going to franchise tag him again.
I think so too. But that's the thing though. You can only franchise tag 2 times.
Yeah.
Then what happens at the end of the second franchise tag? And then Lamar, are you willing to go another year, praying to God you don't, suffer a major injury?
But and another reason I think that is too, because with them bringing in Roquan Smith, he's on a contract year, so I don't see them bringing him in just as a rental. So I could see them franchising Jackson for another year, getting getting Roquan Smith signed, and then try to get Jackson signed the next season before he'd be a free agent.
Who do you think's taking the bigger risk here, Jack or the Ravens or Jackson?
I think Jackson.
I do too.
Because you get hurt, you get hurt, you just lost $300-400 million, whatever you end up getting.
Right.
You've lost all that. Where, I mean, I hate to say it, he gets hurt, the Ravens just gonna go find another guy to take his place. The guy might not be as good, but they're, you know what I mean? And then, but so it's not, I mean, yeah, it's going to hurt them maybe winning some ball games, but it ain't going to hurt their pocketbook like it's going to hurt Lamar Jackson.
Tell you one thing, if Lamar did get hurt like that, and it was something bad like that, I'd straight tank my ass off to go get Hooker or Young.
Damien says he sees Lamar leaving Baltimore. I could see that. I think this is going to kind of end up comparable to the Kirk Cousins situation in Washington, where they kept franchise tagging him, not wanting to commit a big contract to him. And then he'll probably go, somebody else will offer him a big contract and he'll, with a lot of guaranteed money, and he'll go there. Because if he's on the market, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be interested in him. Even with some of his slights throwing the ball, there's still going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to take that chance because of what he can do with his legs.
No doubt about it. And I agree. I totally agree. So I don't wish no hurt or no ill will on anybody. I just hope that he's his own agent. Sometimes, having yourself as a client, sometimes this is the smartest thing in the world to do. I'm just saying.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to have that person to say, hey, this makes a little more sense business wise. Because I mean, when it comes down to it, it's a business. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's definitely a business, and that's what I'm saying from his standpoint. He's taking a risk. What do you think about this Thursday night football game tonight? Eagles and Texans. You think
Well, I was just about to ask you that too as well, because here's the deal: Cooks will not play against the Eagles.
Yep.
Wow. What's going on with that situation? I know they were looking to possibly try to trade him before the deadline, and that clearly did not happen. So what does that mean for Cooks now?
I think they were saying it was some kind of injury, if I remember correctly.
Well, it says Cooks expected to be moved before Tuesday's deadline.
Yeah.
But the Texans' lack of flexibility on trade demands and the fact that Cooks' $18 million salary is fully guaranteed next season made it impossible to choose a deal. So, but I don't think he's hurt. I just don't understand what's going on. It says he missed practice on Tuesday and Wednesday due to personal reasons. I don't know, man. I don't think he's hurt. I think he's staying out because he's pissed that a deal didn't happen and he's still with the Texans. That's what I think. And that's what I'm. My mind.
That might be
personal reasons.
For personal reasons. It could be, and I'll tell you what. You would think that these teams would have something in the contract because for where these players want to sit out like that to make sure that they don't get paid for it. You know what I mean? If you refuse to play and you're healthy, you shouldn't get paid for it.
Believe me, I'm so on that bandwagon. Trust me. I completely agree with you. I wonder how well Philip Dorsett plays tonight, because that's really going to be I guess he's going to kind of be their number one guy at this point, considering that Nico Collins is out, Brandon Cooks is out. So what is that? And John Mechie's obviously out. So you only got 3 wideouts that you can really deal with, and that's Dorsett, Johnson, and Moore.
Yeah. No, I like the Eagles to win the game. The Texans they're a scrappy team. They play teams close a lot of times. The spread on this game is like 14 points, and I like the Eagles to win this game definitely. But I don't know if I want to give up the 14 points or not yet because of that. But with the Texans injuries, not having your best wide receiver, that's going to be a problem against a team that's already more talented than what you are. You can't be missing one of your best players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think,
I hate the
from
NFL
a
said
fantasy
that.
football perspective, given that Dorsett's probably the best wideout you have available at this point, do you try to run out and grab a Dorsett if you need wide receiver help? And I'm starting to think that Dorsett's looking pretty good right about now.
Yeah. I hate the NFL said that on ESPN reported that the Cowboys were close to trading for the Texans or for Cooks, but the Texans said they weren't going to pay the $18 million, so they couldn't get a deal worked out before the deadline.
Jerry Jones, you're like $10.9 billion, and you don't want to pay the $18 million, but yet you'll give $100 million to Zeke that you barely freaking use because he sucks now and Pollard's kicking ass.
Let me ask you this. I'm glad you brought up Zeke. From what you said, I already know your answer, but you're the big Cowboys fan. It sounds like you feel Tony Pollard should be the starter.
Well, let's see. He just put up 131 damn yards the last game against the Bears. I think he's your starter. And I think Zeke is your power at the goal line if you need him. But yeah, I'm running the hell out of. I'm definitely running.
Jay, hold on 1 second. Hey, Damien. So let me ask you this, because you're saying why shouldn't he get paid when the Texans are the reason he is holding out? The man deserves to get his money. There shouldn't be no reason for a player, a team that's not going to pay. Okay, so say I miss work for personal reasons. They should still have to pay me just because I'm on their employee list. They got to pay me just because I don't want to come to work. It's a business, Damien. They're employees of that team.
That's exactly what it is. You're right. It's a business.
It's no different than me or Jay going to work and saying, "Hey, you won't do this. I'm not coming to work for the next 3 days." Well, guess what? You're not going to get paid for them 3 days, and you're probably not going to have a job no more.
What a time to be alive. Let me ask you this. Lazard, however you want to say his name, he's still listed as questionable. The Packers made absolutely no trades whatsoever to upgrade the wide receiver position.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that they not go after a wide receiver at all?
Like, what the hell?
I think they're
tanking. I wonder if Lazard plays tonight again, or I wonder if he plays Sunday against the Lions. I wonder if Lazard plays. He's listed as questionable with that shoulder. He practiced in a limited capacity on Wednesday. What do you think, man? Do you think he plays, or do you think not?
I hope he plays, but I don't think he's going to. And I'll tell you what, I kind of think the Packers are tanking. I think the Packers are tanking, and that they know Aaron Rodgers is going to retire after this season, so they're tanking because they know Jordan Love's not the guy. And they're tanking and want to get up there to get a draft pick.
Well, you don't believe in Jordan Love, Gonzo?
No. But no, I really do. I think they're tanking because they think that Rodgers is going to retire because he's already stated if they don't make changes on the offense that he's retiring, if they don't give him some weapons. So I think they're tanking and trying to get one of these young quarterbacks in this year's draft.
All I know, Gonzo, is this. When young Geno came into the league with them beautiful New York Jets, he stunk the joint up. And everybody, and everybody abandoned him. Everybody wrote him off. Everybody said he was a bust. Everybody said this. Everybody said that. The son of a gun goes to damn Seattle, and now it looks like the best thing since sliced bread. And the damn Seattle Seahawks are at the top of their damn division. And nobody saw that coming. Nobody.
I hate the NFL. So Packers tried to go after Tony, but they only offered a 5th round pick.
What a time to be alive, man.
No, dude, Geno Smith is he's played his way into either a contract with Seattle, or he's gonna get it, or if they don't, for some reason, some stupid reason, don't make sure he stays there the way he's playing. He's earned himself probably a starting job somewhere else if Seattle for some reason decides not to keep him.
Oh, hell no. I guarantee Seattle's going to keep his ass. I don't think they let him go.
Who wins that division? Seattle,
I
San
think Seattle. I think
Francisco.
Seattle's going to win the division. Honestly, who's gonna what? The Rams, Cardinals,
No, the only team that would have a chance to catch him would be the 49ers.
Niners. Yeah, the Niners. But let's not discount that because now that they got McCaffrey, you see what McCaffrey's
Hey,
doing.
how amazing was that?
Oh my
How amazing
God.
was that?
Bro, the man passed, received, and ran for a damn touchdown. I mean, what more does Christian have to do to
Hey,
be?
I'd like to see him kick a field goal as well.
I'd like to see him kick a field goal, get an interception, and a sack. Can we make that happen? And maybe a kickoff return. But let me ask you this. Hey, seriously though, the only downside to the Niners right now, and unfortunately, isn't Debo. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Debo's hurt right now. Correct?
Yeah, he didn't play.
Like he's not like I don't know how long. Do we know how long Debo's out? Because I have not looked at that.
I don't know how long he's out. I don't think it was a real bad injury. It seemed like he was.
Is he gonna be active though? I wonder this week.
I don't know. Let me look.
Check that out because I'm telling you right now, the only downside to the 49ers is going to be because Elijah Mitchell is it Mitchell? What's that guy's and I know I'm probably saying his first name wrong.
Running back. Are you talking about the running back, Elijah Mitchell? Yeah, he's out.
Elijah's his first name, right?
Yep.
Okay. Elijah Mitchell, we know he's out, which is why they got Christian McCaffrey in there. Debo is hurt currently. We know Christian McCaffrey has injury issues. You can't rely on him too much now. Now, again, they had him passing, catching, running for touchdowns. Are you concerned that Christian McCaffrey could go down with an injury? Because we know in the past with Carolina, when they put too much on him, he gets injured and then he's done. So that's my only concern with the 49ers would be injuries to their running backs and wide receiver with Debo. That I think would keep them out of the running to compete with Seattle. And that's why I think Seattle long-term is the answer. Because did you see what that Walker the Third did running for
Walker
Seattle?
Walker the Third.
Bro, hey, dudes. They got the passing game. They got the running game. Their defense is kind of coming up. Seattle's looking pretty damn good. And is this a credit to Pete Carroll, and what he's done with this team now?
Yeah, and a lot of people wanted Pete Carroll gone. And
they as hell did. They were calling for his head. I guess they're not calling for his head now.
Damien says Bezos looking to buy the Washington Commanders. That's an interesting story. It looks like Snyder might decide to sell, but a lot of people think he's just going to sell. He's not going to sell all the team. He's just going to sell a majority stake.
And that's what I've seen too. I've seen where he could possibly sell the whole, or he may keep a minority stake in the team. I think he keeps a minority stake. I think Snyder does not sell. I think he's actually hired Bank of America, which is really weird. I've never seen a bank do this, but he's actually hired Bank of America to help him sell the team. He is going to sell the team. He will not be majority owner. Let's just go ahead and get that myth or whatever you want to call it out the way. He's going to sell the majority. Now, whether or not he keeps a minority stake, that's to be determined, but he is definitely going to lose the majority of that team. I think it's time.
Yeah. From what I'm reading, the 49ers are on bye this week. But from what it looks like here, they're saying that they should get Debo Samuel back after the bye week. Juszczyk could be back. It says could get a plethora of players back after this bye week. So they're expecting Debo Samuel to play next week.
So okay.
Back to your question, I think as long as Samuel can stay healthy, I think Samuel McCaffrey going to the 49ers, I think helped McCaffrey, but I also think it helps Debo Samuel as well because you don't have to put as much on Samuel now, and with McCaffrey going there, you don't have to put as much on McCaffrey. So if one of them goes down, I agree with you. It could turn into a problem if you try to use the guy too much. But I think having both of them could help McCaffrey maybe stay a little healthier.
I'm not saying a whole lot, but I just want you guys to know that when Fantasy League started out, I was at the bottom 0-3 and looking to death and one spot above freaking Damien. Now your boy's in 11th spot. I'm in 4-4 and rising. I know Gonzo. Gonzo's in that playoff spot. I just want you to know,
I took a
Gonzo.
whooping from Logan over the weekend, dude.
Bro,
he killed
me. Bro. Hey, Logan's been on a damn tear. Nobody can catch that dude. But I will tell you this. Hey, Gonzo, I won last week and I scored like 140 something points. I'm just telling you, my team is on the rise, Gonzo. Look out! Don't discount Jay just yet. Jay I promise you. I make this promise. When the playoffs start, Gonzo, I'll be within the playoff realm. You're gonna meet in the playoffs. Playoffs.
I'm in 4 fantasy leagues, and I went 3-1.
But you got to admit, Gonzo, you might be in all those. But which one do you think is the most challenging for you? It's got to be this 20-team league is the most challenging.
The 20-team league is because you haven't hardly. By the time you get to your bench players, a lot of the guys you barely know who the hell they are.
That's right. And I always knew with my team, I said, look, I brought in Foreman, I brought in Carter, and I said, if somebody goes down, these 2 dudes are going to be studs. And Foreman has literally gotten me damn near 30 points the last 2 weeks when they got rid of McCaffrey. So it's kind of, I played that out just right. But I just need Henry to stay healthy. Oh my Lord, I need Henry to stay healthy. That's my stud. Henry's my stud. But no, again.
Who did the Cowboys play this week?
Oh, we got
Snyder.
We got the bye this week. And then we get Green Bay next week. But we're on the bye this week.
I hate the NFL says Snyder better be worried more about the FBI than Washington. Yeah.
No, seriously. Hey, and that's not even bullshit.
No.
Hey, just because he's selling the team, he's still under investigation financially.
Yeah, for criminal charges. So he's he better be worried a little bit more about that than trying to sell his team. And he's
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you this: if you're looking at baseball, basketball, NFL, NCAA football, hockey, whatever. We know the number 1 game, probably most watched, is going to be the World Series on Thursday. But let me ask you this: what game do you have between now through Monday as the next biggest game watched?
Let's see. You have the World Series, then you have Georgia and Tennessee is going to be a big watch this weekend. That's going to be a big one.
It's going to be freaking huge. Well, I mean, because who has the most on the? What I'm saying is, when I say most, because who has the most on the line, right? Because you look at Tennessee and Georgia. I mean, we're talking about the battles between 1 and 3.
Yeah, and dude, I'm glad you mentioned that. How the hell do they have Clemson at 4?
No, I honestly don't know. Matter of fact, Gonzo, I actually got Clemson losing, and I think they're playing Notre Dame this week. But I got Clemson losing this week, Gonzo. Let me look back at my notes. I got to figure who they're playing. I think I'm almost positive it's Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame. I actually got, and I don't know how you feel about this. I know you do the money line and things like that, but I got Notre Dame beating Clemson. And I think Clemson is going to be one of the big upsets this week.
It could be because and I know you can't always go by how one team played another team, but if you look at Syracuse, Syracuse basically blew that game against Clemson. Should have had that game won, and then
so did Wake Forest.
Yep, and then Syracuse goes to Notre Dame the next week or plays Notre Dame the next week and loses.
Yeah.
So
my next upset is, and I don't know how you feel about it, but that was my first upset. My second upset is LSU over Bama.
I think that's going to be a closer game than what people think. I really do.
I think so too. I really do. I think so too.
Who you got, Tennessee or Georgia?
Oh, I got Tennessee all day.
I don't
have a dog in that fight, but I got Tennessee all day.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee is going to come out and they're going to show the world why they're number 1. I think Hooker and what he does for that offense via running and or passing is going to be more than what that Georgia defense can handle. And especially, biggest thing here, Gonzo, the biggest thing is their main star linebacker, Smith Jr., is out for the season.
Yep.
So they don't even have him. And I think
you're
that's
talking about
going to be the reason.
And with Georgia, you're talking about a team that lost like 7 or 8 guys that was starters on their defense last year to the NFL. And don't get me wrong, I know they have a lot of 5-star, 4-star recruits, so they still have a good defense, but their defense isn't what it was last year. Not close to what it was last year.
And again, my second question
to the game to me
is this.
The key to the game to me is going to be Tennessee's defense. If Tennessee's defense can control, slow down that Georgia offense, I think Tennessee wins the game because I don't think Georgia's defense is going to be able to keep that Tennessee offense in check. I like Hooker, man. I think that man,
bro. Listen,
he might be the best quarterback coming out.
So a couple of questions. First question is, obviously, Hooker right now is looking pretty damn good. He is, in my opinion, the Heisman favorite at this point because of what he did with Alabama and the fact that they're undefeated and where they're ranked. Number two, if Tennessee beats Georgia, you've got to think that that's somewhat, and he has a good game, that's got to somewhat solidify him as the Heisman favorite, don't you think?
I would think so because you'd beat Alabama, then you beat Georgia, and if he has a big game where he's a big part of it, yeah, I think it really does solidify it.
Now I got a question for you. We know TCU is ranked 7; they're undefeated, right? You know that they've taken out Oklahoma State, and I think they took out, I don't know if it was Kansas they took out, but they've had 2 really good competitive teams that they've taken out. Let me ask you this. If Tennessee beats Georgia, and we know Ohio plays Michigan at the end, if Michigan beats Ohio and TCU wins out, and if God forbid, and I don't know how important it would be, but if LSU beats Bama, what chance do you think TCU has to get in the top 4?
I think you're exactly right. I think unfortunately for TCU to get in, I think that stuff would have to happen. Them teams would have to lose.
Right.
I think especially if Bama gets a second loss, and then Georgia loses to Tennessee, I think Georgia will still get in, but the loser of Michigan and Ohio State could be out, and maybe TCU might be able to sneak in.
And then what if Notre Dame beats Clemson?
Because honestly, I feel like Michigan should have been in the top 4 over Clemson.
Me too, absolutely. My personal opinion with
Michigan's going to be Ohio State.
I think Clemson is soft.
I think Michigan's going to beat Ohio State.
And I do too. And that's what I'm saying. I really think this top 4 is only a temporary right now top 4. I think they're getting ready. I think within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to see that top 4 get shaken up. And that's why I was asking you.
If
TCU wins out, if you had to put a percent on TCU getting into the top 4, what percentage? Because I've heard 28% was what they had to get into the top 4 for the national title. What would you give them?
I would say maybe a 40% chance, just because of the college football playoff, how they are. Because I can see a scenario where they put three teams from the SEC in as well. I can see them putting Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia all in the playoff. If
he had a question about
Georgia beats Tennessee,
yeah,
then Tennessee would have 1 loss, and then if Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, all 3 of them teams would only have 1 loss. And I don't think they should, but I can see the college committee putting all 3 of them in the top 4.
Absolutely, I can see that too. Trust me, I can see that too.
I don't think Alabama is a top 4 team this year.
I don't think so either. I think Alabama is soft. I think Clemson is soft. I think Ohio State is moderately soft. I think Georgia, to a certain degree, is soft. Because look, let's be honest. Who has Georgia really honestly played? I think Tennessee is the first legit team that they played this season that determines if they really are a top 4 team right now. And I'm not saying they're not a top 4, but I'm saying this is the first time they've been tested while they're in the top 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of all those teams, out of Clemson, Ohio, Georgia, Tennessee, out of all 4 of those teams, I think Tennessee is the only true team that has been tested and passed the test.
Yeah, so far, because, I mean, Michigan hasn't played Ohio State yet.
That Ohio-Michigan game is going to be freaking huge.
Yep.
What do you think about what do you think about Michigan State and the scrum in the tunnel?
Dude, I guess it was like 10 guys on one or something.
Bro, I saw that scrum. It was ridiculous what they did. And I really hope
there's going to be criminal
those
charges.
Players get criminally charged with assault for what they did to that dude, man.
I know Jim Harbaugh said in an interview either on Monday or Tuesday that there was going to be criminal charges filed and stuff.
Well, I know that Michigan State has already come out and suspended those players. Now it's about, are they going to go face criminal issues or not? And I really think they should. If you put hands on somebody, that's assault. And that should be, even if it's a simple assault and a misdemeanor, maybe they pay a fine or whatever, and do some probation, whatever. But that needs to happen. That absolutely needs to happen.
And I'll tell you another thing that needs to happen. And it's not an excuse, because what happened there it's horrible and should never happen. But then you saw it the next day in NFL when the Bills and the Packers are coming out of the same damn tunnel, and you have Alexander and Diggs going at it right there. There shouldn't be these stadiums shouldn't be made where the teams come out of the same.
I don't understand why don't you have separate tunnels to avoid that?
Because I mean, it's not right, but hey, you got guys amped up and stuff. There's going to be shit talk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should have separate entrances.
Yes.
Or have one team fully come out. If you're going to have one entrance, have one team fully come out and then bring the other team. Don't have them at the same time.
Yeah, don't have them out in the hallway at the same time. It's stupid. I've never understood that. And there's
competitive juices are flowing. That's stupid. Real quick, I hate the NFL asking about the Tar
Heels.
I think that quarterback, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gonzo, I think his last name is May. But I was looking into him a lot, and I tell you, I think this guy, he won't get the Heisman because the Tar Heels aren't up there enough for him to get Heisman looked at. But I do think when it comes time for the draft, I think May could be that hidden gem that could really be very, very beneficial to an NFL team. If you look at what he's done and how he's done it, May actually looks pretty good. I think he could be a good quarterback in the NFL.
North Carolina is 7-1 overall, 4-0 in their conference. They lead their division in their conference. So yeah. I mean, so they're having a good season. I can't remember who.
But it's May, right? Am I correct on his last name? It's May. M-A-Y-E or something like that.
Yeah, M-A-Y-E. Yep.
Yeah, May. I'm telling man, the guy looks legit. Yeah. The guy looks legit. Like he looks like he could be a legit quarterback in the NFL. If you look at, I watched a couple of the clips on him, and he looked pretty good. Now, again, he won't get put in the Heisman because they don't play enough teams like that. But
their only loss is the Notre Dame. 45 to 32. That's their only loss on the season so far.
And what was the stats in that Notre Dame game?
I had them beat Notre Dame that game. I actually I picked North Carolina to win that game.
Yeah.
They play.
Yeah, absolutely. And again,
Jay, they play Virginia this week, and then next week they play number 20 Wake Forest, and North Carolina is ranked 17th right now. But then they play NC State, which is a team that's ranked in the top 25. I just don't think their strength of schedule is going to be enough to get them up there toward the playoffs. But they are a good team, and like you said, they got a good quarterback.
Yeah, no, they really do.
I like the coach they have, and his name's slipping my mind right now. I think didn't he used to coach at Texas?
Wait. Yeah, you're thinking of Mac Brown.
Yeah, isn't he the North Carolina coach?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
I just
thinking
didn't
of
think of
Matt
his
Brown.
name. Yep.
That's Matt Brown. No, Matt Brown,
I
man,
like
he
him.
coached Texas for a long time.
He's been doing a good job there at North Carolina.
I wonder if Texas will make a statement and beat Kansas, that's ranked 13.
Who'd you say?
So it's Texas versus
Texas
Kansas,
against Kansas. That's going to be
and Kansas is ranked 13 right now. I wonder, and I think Texas is ranked around 22. I think it is where Texas is ranked.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like 22,
I'll tell you
either
this.
22 or 24, somewhere around there.
In a couple of years, that Texas team is going to be a scary team for people. People aren't going to be wanting to play them with some of the recruits they have coming in.
Yeah.
They got a pretty good.
Because Archie Manning is going to bring some guys to Texas.
Oh yeah,
I promise.
He already has. There's already been guys that decommitted
Yeah.
from other places to go to Texas because of Manning.
Yeah, watch out for Texas, and don't discount Ewers either.
That's what I was going to say. That they have a good quarterback, and they're bringing in another real good quarterback. They're going to be.
Yeah. I think Ewers gets to start again next year. I think Archie will sit 1 year under him.
They'll probably redshirt. I'd redshirt him a year.
Yeah, and I think by the time Archie gets into his second year, he'll be starting.
Hell, he broke Peyton and Eli's high school records and shit.
That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy when you go to family reunions and you look at your uncles and say, "Y'all look like a bunch of punks." What a time to be alive! Well, no, but I do agree with you.
The dad or Archie Manning says that the Arch Manning is better at this point than what Eli or Peyton was.
Right.
He said this early. He said like he's when they were in high school, Arch is better than what they were when they were in high school. Man, that's some high praise there.
Hey, it just kind of tells you the product that Texas is getting.
Yeah.
My question to you again, and I think to make your argument from a few minutes ago, when it comes to the rankings, like you said, they got Clemson over Michigan, and I feel like, and I know you feel like, Michigan should be over Clemson. It should be the other way around. And I think that specifically
honestly,
because of the close games, like you said, number one with Syracuse, and the other one that we haven't looked at was a close game with Florida State.
Yep.
And I think for those reasons, as well as Wake Forest and so forth,
I'd have TCU ahead of Clemson.
Yeah, I would too. Honestly, I would too.
I think TCU is a better team than Clemson. I wouldn't put TCU in front of Michigan yet, but I'd put
not
TCU
yet.
in front of Clemson.
No, not yet. I'm not going to put them in front of Michigan just yet. No, but I do think with Max Duggan and company that's over. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fucking lit. Pardon my French. It's gonna be lit.
Let's talk a little NBA because we haven't
I was about to say let's talk some NBA.
The Brooklyn Nets, dude, they are a total freaking mess. What do you make of this situation? You got Kyrie posting anti-Semitic stuff. Then you got Steve Nash getting fired. Now they're bringing in a coach that just got suspended to take his place. And get this.
But let's take over a minute.
The Celtics didn't even ask for any The Celtics didn't even ask for any compensation.
They weren't
out of his contract. They just wanted him gone.
Yeah. They wanted him gone because of the issues that he posed there. Yeah. He couldn't stay there. Well, look, when a man has sex with your sister and he gets her knocked up and he doesn't want to pay child support, you want him out of the family as fast as possible. And I'm saying it's kind of like how it is with Udoka. Udoka put himself into a situation that made it uncomfortable for the organization. They wanted him to be separated from the organization, and they tried to get him away as fast as possible. But I think, honestly, that worked out in the Nets' favor. Look, I don't care what if a man has sex with a subordinate, okay, I understand it's bad, whatever.
It happens.
If that's your issue,
every day.
Because here's what I like from a basketball standpoint. I don't think this is. I think Steve Nash and these guys was a mess. I think bringing a guy like Udoka in, a guy that can turn a franchise around, a guy who has leadership qualities, a guy that knows how to implement guys, a guy who can command respect from a Kyrie or a Durant, can bring order into chaos. And I think that Udoka was a good pickup, and I think the Nets are going to benefit off of his indiscretions. The Nets will benefit, and I think Kyrie will come into alignment. Durant will come into alignment, and I think it's going to be fine.
They got to get Kyrie under control, and then they're going to have. I still think.
Well, it kind of has started, right? Kyrie made some statements he shouldn't have made. He's going to go along with the Nets organization. They're going to
they're paying,
put money into,
but I don't think it's the end of it.
That
I think there's still going to be people wearing them T-shirts on the sideline because they want Kyrie suspended. I'm not saying I think they're going to do it. People are going to keep pushing that.
I think anybody, and this is just my personal opinion, and it goes right there along with Kanye West, Yeezy, whatever he wants to go by. Anybody who puts out anti-Semitic or supports anti-Semitic or supports hate speech in any way, shape, or form, hey, you got to go. I'm sorry, you got to go. You just got to go. The NBA has to make a statement just as much as the sponsors have made statements to Kanye. Because how many endorsements has Kanye lost? I mean, everybody, all the endorsement dollars have left Kanye.
And Jerry,
as they should.
Here's what I think happened here. I think as soon as Udoka got suspended, because he had been in Brooklyn before, he has ties with Brooklyn. I think as soon as he got suspended, Brooklyn started working to see what they had to do to get Udoka. And Nash, in their head, Nash was already gone. Then as soon as Udoka came available like that, I think the ball was already starting to roll. I think they were already having the talks and putting the plan in place for Udoka to be that head coach.
Yeah, and again, I think Udoka coming into the Nets organization, I think Udoka, you got to look, a couple of things. You know that when they brought him in, the Nets set him down. They talked about why he was let go. They ironed out the issues. You know that you've got to know that Udoka is not a dumb man. He made a mistake, but everybody makes mistakes. I think that Udoka knows, hey, look, I made a mistake. I screwed up. I think he rights the ship. I think they had an interview process. I think they said, look, you're coming to the organization. Anybody that looks like a female or a male that's in this organization is off limits to you. And I think he understands that, right? I think he understands that. And I think Udoka will get back to doing what Udoka did with the Celtics, which is bring order amidst chaos. And I think he'll do that for the Nets. I think the Nets, this is the first move I've seen the Nets make that I truly believe will get them going in the right direction. This is the first move they made that I think gets them in the right direction. Number one. Number two, Kyrie, you pissed me off. You know why you pissed me off? You know why, Kyrie? I thought about this. I actually watched some of the interview where he was talking about his statements that he made. Did you see the interview
that he made Saturday when he doubled down?
Bro, he shows no look. Okay, he's giving money to, and I know I just said this a minute ago. He's giving money to his organizations, but that dude don't give a damn about any of that.
He still ain't came out and apologized. It's just basically doubled down.
Watch this, Gonzo. Not only did he not apologize, but he actually defended his position.
Because he doubled down on it,
bro. What?
Yeah, that's what. And that's why you got so many people protesting there in Brooklyn. Real quick, I know on NBA, but I hate the NFL said Chiefs wide receiver coach just said Kadarius Toney has looked impressive and uncoverable. He says, shaking my head, dude really faked his injury.
Oh, there's so much going on with Kadarius Toney that I could probably have a long conversation about. But I'm just saying, how does the NBA allow Kanye? How do they let Kyrie say what he says at this conference, even though he's giving this money, whatever? How do they allow that? How is he even in the league at this point?
I think I saw. I'm pretty sure I saw earlier that Kyrie is going to have a meeting, or the commissioner is going to have a meeting with Kyrie. So who knows? The NBA might step in and suspend him.
I think they have to. Don't you think?
I think you have to do something. I mean. Yeah, I mean, look at all the hate speech that we've been fighting.
Look, here's the deal. I'm all for freedom of speech. I'm all for being able to voice what you want to voice and how you want to voice it. I
But
have
there's
no
also
problems
there can
with him
also be
using free speech.
consequences.
But as a society, we have to hold people accountable when their free speech is detrimental to the health or well-being of others around them. Because you saw when Kanye made his hate speech, you saw all the white supremacists and all those people in Jacksonville over the overpasses putting anti-Semitic speeches and things like that. You see that he has some sort of influence on people, and that can be a dangerous situation for us as a society when things like that are happening. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I agree 100%. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look at all the hate speech, the racism, and everything we've been trying. This country's been trying to get a handle on and been fighting over the last few years. And if you got stuff like this, if you don't hold people accountable for stuff like this, then it's hard to hold people accountable for other stuff when it happens.
That really is it. Real quick, he says Jeff Bezos, Jay-Z, look it up. Man, hey, if Bezos and Jay-Z team up and buy the Commanders, holy cow, will they have unlimited resources. What a time to be alive.
Ben Simmons will miss at least 2 more games.
Man, we don't care about Ben Simmons. Hell, he fouls out more often than he's able to score a point or be effective. Have you seen how many times he fouls out so fast? Well, what does Rob Scott say? I don't condone any hate speech. As a black man, I understand the power of the tongue, and Kyrie should be more careful of what comes out of his mouth. Well, I agree. He should be more careful about what comes out of his mouth, but it already has come out of his mouth. And now that it's come out of his mouth, not only once, but defensively twice, now we got to hold him accountable for what comes out of his mouth. And I think, that, like you said, now is a time that the NBA needs to hold him accountable and put his feet to the fire for what he said. You can say what you want to say. Nobody will ever take your ability to say what you want to say. But as organizations, we got to start letting people go for what they say. I'm sorry. Hey, look, you have the right to say what you want, and we have the right to fire you for what you said.
Yeah, you have the right to freedom of speech, but there also can be consequences when you say something out of line, especially hate speech and stuff like that. There's consequences. I mean, it's just how it is. Rob Scott says he agrees the NBA should do something. Fair is fair. Yeah, I think the NBA is going to be put in a point where they're going to have to, because they're getting a lot of hell. If you watch even on the TV, like on ESPN, a lot of the commentators and analysts on there, have you heard how many of them are calling for like Kyrie's basically that she should be gone? And they're like, damn, I mean, these guys want him off the nets. So it's going to be. I'm not saying he should lose his job, but I think he should at least get suspended for at least a few games or something. You just can't let it. You just can't sweep it under the rug. Well, and that's kind of what they're trying to do. Right? That's kind of what the Nets are trying to do by donating this money. They're just kind of sweeping under the rug and hope people forget about it. And you can't just do that.
I understand controversy boasts ratings in NBA. No, the NBA does not need ratings. The NBA is doing fine. If anybody needs ratings, your argument would be better supported for the MLB before it goes to the NBA.
Any sports or any organization that needs ratings don't need that kind of ratings.
My thing is this, right? And I'm not playing the race card or anything like that. But if a white man came out and supported like some kind of book or whatever it was that was filled with hate speech,
yeah, he'd get suspended.
Not even about being suspended. It's not even about being suspended. We're talking riots.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
No, Gonzo, we're talking riots. We're talking marching to Congress. We're talking about all kinds of bedlam.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it would be.
It's not even about us talking about it on a podcast. It's about bedlam.
Yeah.
That's my point. It's like, hold everybody to the same standard of care in terms of what they say and how they say. Everybody, I don't give a damn what your color of your skin is, but hold everybody to the same standard of care.
You can't pick and choose when you're gonna hold somebody accountable. It has to be across the board all the time.
I just think we live in a time period. It's a different time period, but
Rob Scott said Kyrie is like the great Michael Jackson song says, he's always starting something.
Always starting something. Gotta be starting something. I'm sorry. I'll get on my Michael Jackson kick in a minute.
David said NBA has lost ratings since the bubble in 2020.
Oh, they have not. You're crazy. Hey, real quick, Rob Scott. Since Rob Scott is in the conversation, I want to get his opinion. Rob, throw it in the comments, or come on Unscripted and talk about it on Unscripted, or come on the show now and talk about it now. But what's going on with the Golden State Warriors?
I actually wanted to talk about that anyway. The Warriors have lost 3 straight. They're 0-4 on the road. 0-4 on the road this season.
I want to know this. Is Rob Scott wearing his Golden State Warriors hat right now, or is he wearing Chicago Bulls? I'm gonna go with Rob Scott. Probably has Chicago Bulls hat on.
He might have one of them hats that are split in half. One side of it's Golden State, the other side is the Bulls.
Hey, you know what? I thought about that. I'm telling you right now, if I ever come across a hat that looks like that, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to wear it one show, and then I'm going to mail it to Rob Scott.
He said growing pains, the Warriors will be just fine. And he said, I'll wear both hats.
Rob Scott, if I ever find a hat that has Bulls and Golden State half and half, I'm mailing it. I'm so going to mail that to you with a big card that says, I love you, Big Poppy.
You used to see people here in Indiana run around all the time with the football jerseys that half of it was Colts and half of it was Denver, and it was because of Peyton Manning. It was Peyton Manning jersey half and half. You saw them everywhere.
Even if I find a jersey that is half Chicago and half Golden State, I will. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a Bulls jersey and a Golden State jersey, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to have Melanie sew it back together.
Damien said Rodman has said all types of controversial things when he played. No one gave a crap about what he said. So why should it matter now?
No.
It's different times, Damien. You can't compare back then to now. The world is a totally different place than now than what it used to be.
Man, listen, if you haven't seen how the world has changed since the 90s.
That's just like WWE. They can't go back and do some of the stuff they did back in the Attitude Era. Some of the stuff they done back then, if they do it now, they get crucified for it. It's different times. Things have changed. It's a whole different world. You can't. I don't think you can.
It's definitely a whole different world. We definitely live in a whole new world. Trust me, from a guy who grew up in the 70s. I love you too, Big Rob. And if I get that jersey made, I'm sending it to your ass.
But don't you? What do you think? Like what he's saying about Rodman? Do you agree with me? It's hard to compare because we live in a totally different.
You can't compare those time periods. No, and that's why I don't understand when anybody compares an athlete to another athlete from different decades, because everything evolves.
Yeah.
Everything isn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same. Technology, supplements, everything is completely different.
Yeah. Oh,
it's not a fair comparison.
Athletes coming out of high school are way better than the athletes that were coming out of high school 25 years ago.
I'll put it this way. Let me make a very simple statement. When I graduated North Shore High School, our average offensive lineman was pushing maybe 205, 206. That's your offensive line.
Yeah. Yep.
When you go to North Shore High School right now, by the way, if you don't know anything about North Shore High School, they are currently ranked number 9. I believe it's number 9 in the nation. This school is a number 9 in the nation school. So just put that in perspective. Their average offensive lineman averages 305 to 310. Mm-hmm. Let that sink in for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Let me ask you a question, Jay, because you're from Texas, and high school football in Texas is a big, big deal.
How do you have how do you have a wide receiver that's 6'6", 200 pounds, and he's a junior in high school?
Oh yeah. I know. I've seen it here. I coached high school wrestling for 10 years, and I remember when I wrestled.
I'm just saying,
it's crazy. The athletes are just different. But let me ask you a question about Texas. I ever went and like followed the high school football there and went to games and stuff. Does it come? I've always heard like going to a Texas high school game is almost going like to some college football games.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's pretty damn intense. It's number one, it's gonna be a full stadium. There, everybody's gonna be there. And it's gonna be all out. One thing about Texas, we take baseball, basketball, and football. Those are our three sports that Texas does. We don't do hockey, we don't do soccer per se, at least not soccer to the level that everybody else cares about soccer. But baseball, basketball, football, that's all we live, eat, breathe, shit, and do. And that's it.
They still shut towns down for high school football games, don't they?
Bro, the entire damn thing, yes, absolutely. And the thing about it is, I'll tell you right now, I know for a fact North Shore High School football coach makes six figures. I'm telling you, these dudes put money into their programs. You know what I mean? I mean, they put big money. I mean, they got boosters in some cases, even at the high school level.
Dude, that's crazy because
I'm serious. I'm not even.
Oh no, I believe you. But here's what's crazy about it. I coached high school wrestling for 10 years.
Right.
Season started. We started regular practices November 1st, would end in February. That's not counting the off-season stuff we did. That was just a high school season. Got paid $2,000. And you're talking about high school football coaches making six figures.
It's ridiculous. I'll tell you this too. I'll tell you this. Hey, I remember last year I went home to visit the parents, and I went to a local gym, and I was working out in the gym, and this kid comes in there. He's probably 6'4", 6'5". I think he weighed about 270, 280. He sits down on the bench next to me, asked me for a spot. I said, yeah, I can spot you. He puts on, I think he had 275, 290, somewhere in that neighborhood. He puts it up about 25 times. I look at him and I'm like, damn, Bubba, you play football? He's like, yeah, I play for North Shore. I said, oh, wow, I went to North Shore. I said, what position are you? He said, linebacker. Now think about this for a minute. He's between 6'4", 6'5", roughly about 270. He's benching almost 300, 25 times. And this is your linebacker. And I said, hey, let me ask you this. Hey, what supplements are you taking? He's like, I don't know. We have a nutritionist at the high school, and I take a protein, I take a pre-workout, and I think he takes another. He takes creatine. He takes creatine, protein, and a pre-workout. Those are the three basic supplements he's on. So what do I know about that? Creatine helps you with strength.
Yep.
Pre-workout helps you with your pump and your mental mindset to focus to lift the weights. And then protein helps you put muscle mass on, because when you tear the muscle, the protein fills in the gaps of those strands, and that's what helps you put on mass or strength. So creatine and protein help you develop strength and mass. And this is what a 17-year-old, he was either 16 or 17-year-old kid is on in high school.
And not only that,
sink in for a minute. Just let that marinate for a minute.
Not only that, Jay, not only are they on them supplements, then they're on a high protein diet where
it's all
they'll eat like a six egg white omelet and all kinds of stuff every morning for breakfast. I mean, you're on a high protein diet as well.
Okay, the point I'm making is, and let me tell you something. If you've ever been to North Shore High School, they just rebuilt that whole brand new school, and these people poured money into their gym facilities at the high. I mean, like when you walk into their weight rooms, it looks like a college facility weight room. I mean, it looks like a full-on. I mean, the point I'm saying is everything advances over time, and that's how all sports are. from the high school level to the college level to the pro level, technology is always so you can't compare 2020 to 1986.
No,
It's
like,
not the same playing field
well, look
on
at
any
this.
sport, on any level.
When I was in high school, I wrestled, and the only supplement that was really around then that was getting big was creatine. You didn't have all the other protein powders and all that stuff yet. That was when creatine was first getting introduced, and I was used creatine throughout. But the thing about creatine, you really couldn't use it during wrestling season because when you on creatine, you gotta stay real hydrated. Well,
and a lot of times,
in wrestling
even like,
season, as
especially in the
everybody
fight
knows,
world,
when you're trying to make
hold on,
weight,
especially like in the wrestling world or the fight world where weight defines what class you go in. Now you got these athletes taking thermogenics
So,
to help cut down that weight to make weight.
So I took creatine in the off season when I lifted weights. I took creatine, but once wrestling season started, I'd quit doing the creatine because I'd have to cut weight, and to cut weight, you're dehydrating your body, and that's how some people died, was they dehydrated themselves on
because the downside to
and
creatine is water weight.
Yep.
Creatine helps you hold water. So what some people will do, there are actually, even believe it or not, Gonzo, there are legal steroids you can buy on the internet.
Oh yeah, there is.
What I'm saying is you can buy a D-bol, which puts which will help you put the mass on. But the downside or the negative side to D-bol is that you get water weight added on. So then you go take another supplement, which is called WinV, right? Which is another steroid. And that WinV, its main purpose is to cut the water that you put on from the D-bol. So you're taking WinV and D-bol simultaneously to, number one, put on the mass, but number two, cut the water. And that's what a lot of bodybuilders do, and that's what a lot of athletes do. And I don't even know if that's even legal now in sports. I'm sure it's got to be probably on their banned substance list.
Oh yeah, it probably is now.
Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in. But man, what a time to be alive, man. Okay, let me ask you this. Let's get it, and we're gonna talk about this on Unscripted as well. But now you look at the NFL. Let's look at Sunday matchup if we can, because I want to talk about this Bills game and what you think is gonna happen, Gonzo. Because that's the game I got for NFL as being, in my opinion, probably one of the best games of the week. What do you think?
Which game? Bills and who?
I forgot who they're playing. I know I wrote it down in my notes.
Hold on, I can pull it up here real quick because I forgot.
I know it's Jets.
Bills and Jets.
It's the Bills and the Jets. Now, my question to you is not that I'm saying the Jets are going to beat the Bills, by no means. But what I'm curious about is how this guy Robinson that they just brought in from the Jags, how he helps them, because they lost Breece Hall.
Yeah.
So how does Robinson-Carter matchup? How does that play out against the Bills?
Yeah, it's going well. I think it's going to depend a little bit on the coaching, because last week they came out throwing the ball a lot after you had that Breece Hall injury. And last week, and Wilson threw 3 or 4 interceptions that game. So they're going to need, I think, to get that running game going. So I think Robinson might be a big pickup for him, because if he's healthy, dude he's a good running back. It's just how healthy is that knee, and how many carries are they going to give him? I think he's going to get quite a few carries, because they found out you can't throw the ball 40 or 50 times with Zach Wilson right now and expect to win games. And I thought they got away from the run last week in that loss, because they were right there playing some tough football. And I took the Jets to win that game last week. I really thought the Jets would win that game.
No, absolutely. Me too. On the background, I got my word against yours on ESPN. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but they're picking it. And the question is, which team should the Eagles be most worried about in the NFC? And right now it's two guys. Dan has Cowboys. Yep. Sam has 49ers. Rob has Cowboys. And Max had the – so it's between the Niners and Cowboys. That's how they feel. Not the Vikings, oddly enough.
I have the same thing. I have the same thing on the TV as well.
Hey, great minds think alike. But
Oh,
again, I'm wondering why aren't the 49ers in their conversation?
yeah. Or you mean the Vikings?
Yeah, like I'm saying, like
Yeah.
none of them picked the Vikings in terms of a team in the NFC that the Eagles should be worried about. That's interesting to me.
I think it goes back to people don't trust Kirk Cousins because of the primetime game.
But yet they trust Dak and what he did in the postseason.
I agree with you 100%.
Hey, look, and hey, watch this, and this is a Cowboys fan saying it. I'm just saying.
I think Cowboy or not Cowboys, the Vikings. I think they got the right coach. They got an offensive minded coach now, a guy that I think fits well with the talent they have. I think they're going to be a threat this year. I really do. I know we all, well, not all of us, but a lot of us thought that they were going to win that division at the beginning of the year, and it looks like they're going to. Yeah, I think people should be showing the Vikings a little more respect than what we have been.
Oh yeah. Oh, trust me, I'm totally there with you. I totally agree with you. And then another question is in another game, Titans and Chiefs. My thought process is, yeah, the Chiefs are, most likely will get that win. But if the Titans have a chance to get that win, because they are obviously in first place in their division as well,
Derrick Henry's going to have a big game.
they're going to have to run the crap out of Henry. And we know that he just came off a 219-yard performance last game.
Yeah.
Can they do it against the Chiefs this game? Or what are you expecting out of that game?
I think it's going to be a better game than what people think. They got the Chiefs as 12.5-point favorites. And I think the Titans are going to go in there and kind of with the same game plan the Colts had when they beat the Chiefs is on defense, we're going to be physical with the receivers, not give up no big play behind us, and then on offense play the time management game, run the ball and try to keep Patrick Mahomes on that sideline and make it more of a low scoring contest. Don't give them a lot of possessions. I think that's the only way they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs. They're going to have to kind of do that game plan that we've seen people be able to do, but is their defense going to be able to hold up?
And that is $1 million question, especially now that they have what? Didn't the Chiefs bring in somebody via the trade deadline? Tony. So they got Tony, Smith-Schuster, Kelsey. I still think the one issue that they did not address, which I think is a big issue for them, is the run game. They got plenty of targets to throw the damn ball to. But what about the damn run game?
I don't think I can't think of his name. I just don't think he's the guy.
I think it's McKinnon. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire and McKinnon, I think.
And Helaire hasn't really panned out as being the guy.
No, he hasn't.
I thought he would have a lot better.
He looked good at LSU.
Yeah, I thought he'd be a lot better in the NFL than what he's been.
He was good at LSU. That's about the last time I seen him look good. I haven't really seen him look good.
I'm interested in the Colts and Patriots game, but main reason I'm interested in that game is because I want to see how Sam Ehlinger looks against Bill Belichick defense.
Right. No, I get that. Honestly, I like Sam Ehlinger. I think what he's done.
He played a good
to start off so far. Watch this. He hasn't turned the ball over.
Well, he had one turnover.
Was it a fumble? Wasn't it an interception?
Yeah, he fumbled. No, it was a fumble.
It was a fumble.
Yep.
Okay.
But he played. Hey, it wasn't his fault.
His hands might have been sweaty. He had the right towel. He might have had the wrong towel.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, we get him a different towel. He's good to go. Vikings are nothing to be afraid of there.
Kirk Cousins is I'm going to go ahead and say, I know some people don't agree, but Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now.
I think Kirk Cousins looks totally fine. I mean, come on. Yeah. What's wrong with Kirk? Why are people always giving that man such a hard damn time?
I don't know.
Like, people hate, like, they literally hate Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And I don't look, he's in first place. He can't be that damn bad.
Yeah.
Where's Justin Fields?
If you look at his numbers, he's in the top 10 in the NFL.
Bro, they're just pissed off because Justin Fields right now looks like shit. And it's not his fault, but I'm just saying he is.
They got to fix some things over there in Chicago, which it looks like they're going to eventually. But right now they're sellers. You saw everybody they got rid of. But let's get the final thoughts, Jay. This show flew by. It's been a good time. Well, I got another show to do. Then I gotta
yes, and we're gonna get up on out. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna make my final thoughts super sweet and simple. Number one, go Pearland. Number two, Astros will win tonight. You'll see. Number three, the Eagles will destroy the Houston Texans. And number four, go Tennessee!
Go Tennessee. I'm ready for that game. Just a couple of days away. I want to thank everybody for checking out the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at All Sports All Plays Network. Follow them on Facebook, Twitch, all that good stuff. Check out Unscripted tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern on Facebook at Unscripted, or on the All Sports All Plays Network on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, live TV, all that stuff. So you can find us in a whole lot of different ways. I'll be on here in just a few minutes with Easy Money, a sports betting show. My picks on Tuesday were 8-1. My picks yesterday were 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-2 so far, but I hadn't checked my two college picks. But in the Major League Baseball and the NBA, I was 4-2 yesterday. Day before, I was 8-1. I went 1-1 last night on the World Series game. I had Phillies winning, but I also had the under the 7.5. So I got the under 7.5 was right.
So you lost the overall, but you won on the line. What a time to be alive! You should have bet Astros. You'd been straight.
I didn't. Well, I didn't bet. This was
you just won't listen to me.
I'm broke.
You're just hard-headed.
I can't bet. So, but these were the picks I gave out on my show yesterday. I'm just a broke dude. I can't be betting.
Hey, listen, I ain't made money either. Damn it! If I bet $2, I'm nervous.
Well, this is real quick. This is true. We went to the sports book actually Sunday. Me, my dad, and my son, because my son he's been betting a little bit on FanDuel, but never been to like the actual sports book.
Yeah. So
we went there and they have all the games on, so we sit there and hung out there and watched the football all day. I put a couple parlays in, and they were like $5 parlay, or I'd put $10. Yeah. You know what I mean? My buddy was sitting over. We ran into him there, and he's putting like $500-$600 on a game and shit. I'm like, dude, I can't do it.
Man, you start talking $500-$600, and Jay takes a couple of Xanaxes. So I'm just being real. I'll take a couple of Xanaxes because that's big money for me, man.
Oh yeah, but yeah, there was a guy there that was sitting by us. He had $1,500 on one of the games. I'm like, dude, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, those are the guys that if you look at them after the end of it, they're either extremely happy or extremely nervous because now they got to go pay the bookie.
Yeah, or gotta go home and tell their wives, "Hey, I just lost my whole paycheck."
Yeah, exactly. Hey, listen, you never know what's at the other end of that bet.
Oh yeah. But we appreciate everybody watching. We will see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for another episode of the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Everybody have a great Thursday. A lot of sports on tonight. World Series Game 5. NFL Thursday Night Football. Plus you got a couple NBA games. Hockey's on. So if you're a sports fan, there's something to watch. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Go Pearland!
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the day.